This right here is the best Surron Ultra Bee in existence, period. And I know that that is a crazy bold statement, but you gotta hear me out here. The reason that I can so confidently say that is because of this Sirris F43 Fork and that Sirris R46 Shock.
We'll get into the full build of this Ultra Bee in the next video, but today is a big day because we're announcing the launch of Sirris Suspension. And Sirris deserves their own video because they're a suspension company dedicated to e-moto. And they're the first to develop a full fork and shock combo designed specifically for a bike that we love, the Surron Ultra Bee. Now, if you're keen to be the first in line to get this suspension, it's available on ECR Parts, and you can click the link in the description for that. You'll see Test Pilot Program stamped on the side of this fork and shock, because that is exactly what we're doing, testing this stuff, and we have done that extensively, having just raced this bike in a 60-mile big mountain enduro, which we'll show you in the next couple of videos. And I've also logged a lot of hours on this setup on our Colorado stomping grounds.
It's by far the most confident I've ever felt on the Ultra Bee.
But for now, let's get into some of the details. The fork is a closed cartridge design and a true bolt-up system as it seamlessly integrates with everything OEM on the Ultra Bee. That includes the display, fender, and brake caliper. The clamps have a similar offset to OEM, but because it's a bigger fork, it allows for a stable front end without sacrificing turning radius. The 43mm stanchions and beefier fork tubes provide a much more robust front end, and the 246mm of travel is 6mm more than stock, which, aside from all of the big internal advantages, also gives you a little more cushion for the pushin'. Speaking of cushion, the fork also has a hydraulic bump stop for those bigger hits at max stroke. The shock has a beefy 46mm piston and comes with a multitude of adjustments, including high-speed compression, low-speed compression, and low-speed rebound. Spring rates are available for the lightest and heaviest of riders, and there are endless opportunities to valve specifically for your riding, which is what we're currently honing in on with the Test Pilot program. If you want more specs, we've got all of that posted on our website, so be sure to click through to that. But we know you came here to see the ride.
This bike feels incredible. It's by far the most confident I've ever felt on the Ultra Bee. The bike just feels so tight and strong, and it really encourages me to want to ride this bike faster. I would say the setup that I'm on right now is definitely more of a hard charger type setup for my weight. Probably more of like a fast enduro desert type tune, or just that it needs some slightly lighter springs for off-road, because I do get a little bit of deflection off of square edge hits, but the bigger hits, the bike feels unbelievable. So good. So confidence inspiring. Like that stuff right there, man. It just soaks that up. The setup definitely encourages you to ride harder. And a lot of that is the suspension, but a lot of it's also the tune. And that's the great part about this setup, is it's highly tunable with different springs and valving. So this stuff is highly tunable depending on your weight, riding style, terrain, and that's really what this bike needs, is more versatility based on who's riding the bike. But as a base platform, the suspension is the best thing to happen to the Ultra Bee. I'm super excited for this setup and to keep riding the Ultra Bee build that we've got here, which I'll really get into details on the next video, what exactly we've got going on with this bike altogether. But man, it's a really cool bike, and definitely one of, if not the favorite bike in the stable right now. I can tell we're not really using the full travel on the fork in this environment, so I believe we're going to try going down a spring rate or two and seeing how that affects the setup. But man, I'm very enthusiastic about this bike right now and pretty excited to keep riding this thing.
So we've honed in on tunes tailored specifically for you Ultra Bee owners out there. And if you like what we've accomplished with our tunes on the stock Ultra Bee suspension setup, you're really going to love the Sirris setup. And you can pre-order this fork, shock, or the combo on ECR Parts, and be one of the first to get this stuff on your bike. You'll also see this bike in action a bit more in the coming race videos that we'll be posting, and we'll have this bike and some other cool bikes at the Red Bull Tennessee Knockout, which is a great reminder to come out and race or just spectate. We know there's going to be a lot of Ultra Bees in attendance, and you can see our full build in the flesh. And once again, a tip of the hat to the guys at Sirris. The talented people behind this brand come with decades of high-end suspension experience, and having worked side by side with this group, we are stoked to have another reputable brand enter this industry. Stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.